Hi guys, it is Prof Chipboard here, and I am here with my SUCC draft analysis. It's a new draft league I'm in. Looks really competitive and good. This is going to be quite a quick draft analysis, I'm afraid to say. Won't be too in depth. Obviously, I don't want to reveal all that much. You can see my team obviously on the screen. We have regular Latios, Taunty, Crawdon, Slowbro, Embor. That Nido Queen has actually been traded for a Nido King. That will take effect week 1. Slurpuff, Electivire, Miltank, Rhydon, and finally Mega Scizor. Pretty happy with the team overall. Just going to go through obviously what each mon tends to do in case you're not that familiar with it. Latios, 110 speed, 130 special attack, 110 speed F. Can Dragon Dance, but tends to be a brilliant special sort of wall breaker / sweeper if you're on Calm Mind. Very reliable defogger. Levitate obviously helps it. It's immune to ground. Like sort of fantastic mon, incredibly hard to deal with in a lot of ways. So we'll see exactly how well that gets used. Next we have Taunty. Gets regenerated 121 base speed, which is absolutely fantastic. 100 attack, 110 special attack, if I remember correctly. Sort of really good move pool, U-turn, knockoff. This is a fantastic utility mon. You can use it to scout things. Gets a load of really good coverage moves. Pure flying type, which is really nice because it's only got the 3 weaknesses to rock, ice, and electric. Again, the second bit of an ice weakness on the first 2 picks, but I do address that a bit later on draft. Then we have Crawdon. Was actually my last draft pick because it was still on the board. Incredible physical wall breaker. Water and Dark dual typing. Dark type is fantastic for a wall breaker, particularly adaptability knockoff. Removes items, really hard to switch into. A little bit slow, not particularly good bulk, but does get priority. Then again we have my second water type. Slowbro, regular Slowbro. Again, it's got a regenerator, so I've got a regenerator core, which is nice. Really base 110 physical defense. Base 80 speed F, 30 speed, but doesn't really matter. Base 100 special attack, so it's tanky. Can take can walls a lot of sort of physical threats. Really good defensive typing in water. Psychic, you've obviously got Slowbro and apart from the knockoff weakness, it's good defensive typing, but it's probably my primary physical wall. Really reliable mon. Can also be a Calm Mind setup. Gets a good move pool. Benefit being Gem 1. A lot of coverage moves, including Fire Blast, things like that. Scold, Psychic, Ice Beam, Grass Knot. Then gets T-Wave. Gets reliable recovery and Slack off. I've already said that. Basically, really good mon. Sort of decent value down in Tier 2. I've seen it up in Tier 1. In some draft, we did a tiered style draft format. Sort of all the top 4 my Lation 2 to my Tier 1s. Tier 2s are Crawdon and Slowbro. Let's go into my Tier 3s, and I've got more wall breakers. Embor, it's an ice resist, which obviously I need if I've got 2 of my premium ones are weak to ice. Fire type's really nice to have offensively. This one can go special or physical, which is really nice. Reckless Flare Blitz hurts a lot. Reckless Superpower off a base 1-2-3 attack is incredibly hard to switch into. This thing can be sort of a good AV user as well because it's got base 110 HP, so you can invest in that so it can take hits. Again, mod I'm really a big fan of. Incredibly hard to wall. It won't be coming every week, but when it does come, it will be incredibly problematic for certain teams, and I can't wait to see just how much sort of it takes on. Then we have Nido King, not actually the Nido King Queen there. Reason for that is primarily because of my speed tiers. I drafted Nido Queen first because it's a bit bulkier. It's a better rocks than T-Spike setter, but then I did draft a couple of the rock setters, and I had a big speed gap in between my Electivire and my Nido Queen at 76 speed, so it's 95 and 76. Getting the regular getting the Nido King has 85 base speed. That sort of fixes my speed tiers. It means that people can't sort of invest to just outspeed my things in 75 base speed, which is nice to have, because otherwise it could take people quite a lot of EVs. Also, it's a slightly better wall breaker, so I have my 3 incredible wall breakers, 3 of the best in the format in my opinion. Obviously this does leave me without too much in terms of fantastic walls and bulk, but I think I can play around that. I do have priority, so I can revenge setup sweepers even if they are set up. And yeah, we'll carry on from that. Gets fantastic coverage again. It's a Nidoking. I don't really need to explain what it does that well. And again, Slurpuff. Now, Slurpuff is slightly questionable pick by some people, but it's best known for Belly Drum, and yes, it does do Belly Drum and Burden fantastically, and people will prep for that. People will have to be prepared for that because it is a huge threat. But the reason why I went for Slurpuff over any of the other fairies left on board at the time, obviously it's later round, is it gets an absolutely fantastic move pool. It can do clericy things. It gets access to Heal Bell and Aromatherapy. It also gets access to Cotton Guard and Calm Mind, and can Wish Pass. Doesn't do it well. It hasn't got very good HP for Wish Passing, but I have 2 regenerating mons, which I'm going to be relying on to sponge a lot of my hits. I have Reliable Recovery in my Mega Sizzle. Wish Passing is nice, but it can be very, very difficult to get off, and I've got Reliable Recovery in Latios, so I've got a lot of mons with Reliable Recovery. I don't really gain much from having a better Wish Pass, and I thought, let's go for Slurpuff. It's another offensive threat, can absolutely sweep through teams, and based off how I've seen it used by a couple of guys, including Medifin, it can be a fantastic mon. Then we have Electivire as one of my 3 tier 4s. A couple of these were free picks. I only needed 1, but decided to go for 3 because these mons really, really suited my draft. Electivire, base 95 speed, so the speed tier is nice, gets me around 100, sort of fits in nicely with the rest of my team. 1, 2, 3 attack, 95 special attack, both of which are extremely viable. Motor Drive is nice because it gives me an electric immunity and also means that I can potentially, because it gives me the speed boost, and realistically the base speed is what holds Electivire back, because it gets fantastic coverage compared to something like Manectric, which I was considering instead of this. Rotom Cut, I was considering as well, but I didn't want to stack the ice weakness, which I've mentioned so much about already. And yeah, I decided to go for Electivire because it was an immunity. Gets fantastic coverage on both sides, gets access to Flamethrower, Ice Punch, Earthquake. It's the only electric type apart from Sunfish which gets access to Earthquake, if I recall correctly. And that just allows it to be it's potentially another wall breaker, but it can also be an AV user. Gets Volt Switch, gives me momentum, and gives me a bit more Volt Turn, which is always nice when you have 3 very, very nasty wall breakers. Maybe even 4 if I run something like Specs Latios. Then we have Miltank. Miltank is great. Incredible value pick. Base 105 defense, so can be a good physical wall. Base 70 defense, which is not great, but you can invest it and it'll take the hits you need it to. You get Stealth Rocks, you get Curse, you get Reliable Recovery, you get Toxic, fantastic utility mon. Probably the best thing about it is that you get Thick Fat, Scrappy, and Sap Sipper's abilities. They're all really viable abilities. Thick Fat is fantastically useful because it gives me a fire resist, gives me an ice resist, which is invaluable, particularly when I have a Mega Sizzle for fire resist, and particularly when I have Taunty, Latios, Nidoking, and Rhydon, all of which are weak to ice, because I don't want to be relying on Slowbro constantly coming in, because that can get worn down. Sap Sipper again is nice. It's my only grass immunity, but it will just discourage people from clicking Seed Flare or Leech Seed or Spore or whatever, because it can absolutely sort of give him that plus 1 attack. It's got base 80 attack, which is quite nice, and if you can curse up, it can seriously cause some issues for some people. Did originally want Snorlax and Mistflop. Didn't get that. Snorlax went early, and I thought, what's the next best thing? Let's go for Miltank. Gives me a Stealth Rocker as well. Oh, I apologise about that if it caught just my laptop screen deciding that it was going to go black. Then we have Rhydon. Again, it's another Stealth Rocker. It's got another really physically defensive mon, which is nice. Gets access to Eviolite. I actually wanted Rhyperia, but Rhyperia went, so did Regirock, so I decided, go for Rhydon. It's next base there. I did have points for Tier 3, but nothing in Tier 3 did what I wanted this to do. I.e., give me rocks, give me a really solid flying resist, because Electivire's physical bulk is poor. It's only basic. It's only 67. Rhydon's got base 120 defense, and you stick Eviolite on that, and it will take any physical hit. Like, even quite effective waterfalls, it can still take it. Because it's got the base 105 HP and then Eviolite, and it's tremendously able to take down. Obviously, it has got the 2 4x weaknesses, which is not ideal, but it's a value pick. That does hold it back. Base speed does hold it back, but Double Dance Rhydon is a set, and it's fantastic. Edgequake is brilliant offensively against other teams, so it might come once or twice. It should be able to put in some work, but we'll see exactly how it does. Finally, we have my Mega. This was actually my third pick. Didn't originally intend on drafting Mega Cerzal, but it dropped to me third round, and I thought, you know what, I've got to take this. It's such a good mon. Gives me hazard control. I've only got the 2 things with hazard control, but I've only got 1 thing weak to rocks, so that kind of balances out. And also, my hazard control is incredibly reliable. And I do have a grounded poison type as well, so T-spikes don't worry me too much. Got really reliable hazard control. It's fantastically. It's only got for 1 weakness, which is nice, and I do have things to switch in on fire type moves. I've got the Latios, I've got the Slowbro, I've got the Crawdaunt, got the Rhydon as well, and Fake Fat Miltank. So I have a lot of things which resist fire. Bullet Punch is absolutely lovely. Technician Bullet Punch is fantastic. You can just sweep from absolutely no. Maybe you get up maybe 1 or 2 Swords Dances. U-turn's great for momentum. Again, I have a lot of Volt Turn on this team, which is nice. With Wall Breakers, which I'm repeating myself on. Sorry, try to get through this quite quickly. Gets Roost for reliable cover. Fantastic base 150 defense. Really good base 100 speed F. You can take quite a few hits with that. And even they have to be quite specially offensive for HP fire, 2 OKO, or even 2-hit KO you if you're running Spadef. Even a sort of like a Jirachi Fire Punch only does sort of 70% even with no defense investment whatsoever, which is nice and just max HP. Gets knockoff as well, which is nice, superpower. Can get walled by a few things, is sort of a big, easier sort of fairy types with fire coverage, but I'm aware of that. I can play around it. U-turn's fantastic for scouting, and this is one of the best megas in OU, and it's not quite as dominant in the league format in my opinion, but it's still a fantastic mon. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks very much for listening. I've been Prof Chipboard, and I hope you will join me for the rest of the SUCC League or the Showdown United Championship. I can't remember what it actual stands for. SUCC is a bit of a meme joke. Anyway, I'm Prof Chipboard, coach for Duran Durants, and I hope to see you soon on my channel. Thanks very much. Bye.